If you've ever driven down a dirt road in the middle of summer and ended up looking like you rolled through a flour mill, yeah, today's episode is for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Land Buyer's Guide. I'm your host, Scott Thomas, owner of landparker.com, where we help everyday people get onto rural land with affordable owner financing. And today we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the land world: dust. Specifically, how to keep it down on rural roads and campsites. Now, I know that might sound like a small thing, but if you've actually spent time on a dry rural property, you know it's not small at all. Dust is everywhere. It coats your car, your gear, your lungs. It blows into your campsite, settles on your garden, and just makes everything feel gritty and miserable. So let's talk about how to actually deal with it. The first thing I want to say is, this is manageable. It's one of those problems that sounds worse than it is once you understand your options. You don't need to spend a ton of money. You just need to know what to do. So let's start at the beginning. The road surface itself. A lot of rural roads and campsites are just bare dirt or loosely packed gravel, and in dry conditions, that's basically a dust machine. Every vehicle that rolls through kicks up a cloud. Every gust of wind does the same. So the foundation of any good dust control plan is improving what the road is actually made of. One of the best first steps, and it's honestly kind of underrated, is grading and compacting the surface. A well-graded road sheds water the right way. That means less erosion, less loose material, and less dust over time. If your road has ruts or soft spots, getting those graded out and compacted makes a bigger difference than most people expect. You can rent a skid steer if it's a smaller area, or just bring in a local contractor for a longer stretch. It doesn't have to be a huge project. From there, adding a layer of crushed gravel or road-based material is one of the most durable moves you can make. You're looking at something like crusher run. That's a mix of crushed stone and fine particles that packs down really tight. Or chip seal gravel, which locks together under traffic. In drier climates, decomposed granite is really popular. It compacts well and stays put. A 4 to 6 inch compacted layer on a private driveway or campsite road is a solid starting point. It's not going to eliminate every bit of dust, but the difference compared to bare dirt is pretty dramatic. All right, so now you've got a decent surface. What else can you do? This is where dust suppressants come in. And here's what a lot of people don't realize. There are actually quite a few options depending on your budget and what matters to you. The simplest one is just water. Wet the road down, it works immediately. The dust stops. The downside is it's temporary. A few hours in hot or windy weather, and you're back to square one. Water is really best for short-term situations, like you've got people coming out to your land for the weekend. You want to knock the dust back before they arrive. That kind of thing. For something longer lasting, calcium chloride is what a lot of rural road folks use. It comes in flake or liquid form, and you apply it right to the road surface. The way it works is kind of interesting. It pulls moisture from the air and keeps the road surface slightly damp, which binds the particles together. One application can last several months. That's a big deal compared to watering every few days. Worth mentioning though, calcium chloride can be a little corrosive to metal. So if you've got equipment parked nearby regularly, just keep that in mind. There's also magnesium chloride, which works basically the same way. It's commonly used out in the western states and tends to be a gentler option, a little less corrosive. Applied the same way, similar longevity. Honestly, the choice between the two often just comes down to what's available in your area and what the price difference looks like. Now here's one that surprises people: lignin sulfonate. That's a mouthful, I know, but it's actually a natural byproduct of the paper manufacturing, and it works as a dust binder when you apply it to road surfaces. It's biodegradable, which makes it a good fit for people who are thinking about their land from an environmental standpoint. It can darken the road surface a bit, but it's generally safe around plants and animals. If you're the kind of person who wants to be careful about what you're putting on your land, this one's worth looking into. And then for campsite areas or low traffic paths, organic mulch is super underrated. Wood chips, straw, bark, spread it over bare ground and you'll see a real difference. Over time, encouraging ground cover vegetation around the edges of your road also helps. Plant roots hold soil in place, which means less loose material to blow around. Let's talk about campsites specifically for a second, because they've got their own set of challenges. Foot traffic strips vegetation pretty fast. Tent areas and high-use spots get compacted and bare. The dust just builds up. A few things that help: define your walking paths clearly so foot traffic stays concentrated in one area and the rest of the site gets a chance to recover. Put wood chip or gravel pads under tents and in the spots people use the most. Plant some native ground cover around the perimeter. And keep a simple water sprayer handy for quick patches that get really bad during dry spells. One thing that doesn't get talked about enough is wind. Wind is a huge factor in how much dust actually gets airborne. So anything you can do to slow the wind down near your road or campsite is going to help. Shade structures, windbreaks, they're practical for a lot of reasons, but reducing dust is definitely one of them. Which brings me to a longer-term strategy that I really like: tree and shrub windbreaks. If you plant a row of trees or shrubs along the windward side of a road or campsite, you're slowing the wind down at ground level. Less wind velocity means less dust getting lifted and carried. Native drought-tolerant species work really well for this in most rural settings, and they provide other benefits too: wildlife, habitat, shade, erosion control. If you've got a section of road right near your home or a main entrance that gets a lot of traffic, paving that section with asphalt or concrete is a permanent solution. It's more of an upfront investment, no question. But once it's done, it's done. No more dust, no more maintenance on that stretch. And honestly, one of the most practical things you can do, whether you're paving or not, just build a routine. Dust control isn't a one-time fix. Plan for seasonal reapplication of whatever suppressant you're using. Do a little regrading once a year if needed. Catching small issues before they turn into big ones is always going to be easier and cheaper than dealing with a badly deteriorated road. Here's the takeaway I want you to walk away with today. Dust is a very solvable problem. You don't have to just accept it as part of rural life. Start with the basics. Get your surface in decent shape, add some gravel if you can, and put down a suppressant during dry stretches. Build from there as your needs grow and as your budget allows. Your property is worth taking care of. That's the whole point of owning land, right? You want to actually enjoy being out there. And a little attention to dust control goes a long way toward making your time on the land genuinely comfortable. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you're thinking about buying rural land or you're just curious what's out there, head over to landparker.com. We've got a lot of properties listed with owner financing, sometimes as low as $100 down and $100 a month. We make it pretty accessible, and we'd love to help you find something that fits. Go check it out at landparker.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.